Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV. Revealing Jesus, releasing destinies. This is Celebration TV.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Marks.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Marks.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1. That is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth. To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosu.
You're welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I am Nicholas Akosile Walter. Here are the news making the headlines. The federal government lifts ban on interstate travels. Senegal to lift curfew, allow international flights. Hong Kong security law, Chinese passes controversial legislation. Power grid has collapsed 108 times after privatization, says TCN. Osimhen wins March Vivian Fo Award. Please stay with us as we bring you details of that news after this short break. All right, thanks for joining us once again. Now the news and details. The federal government has lifted a ban placed on interstate travels with effect from July 1st, provided such journeys are made outside curfew hours. The chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, disclosed this at the daily briefing of the task force in Abuja. Mustafa, who is also Secretary to Government of the Federation, also said the government has approved a safe resumption of domestic flights in the country. He disclosed that the latest developments were contained in the task force's 5th interim report, which was submitted to President Muhammadu Buhari. Mustafa said he was pleased to inform everyone that Mr. President had carefully considered the 5th interim reports of the PTF and has accordingly approved that, with the exception of some modifications to be expatiated upon later, the phase 2 of the ease lockdown be extended by another 4 weeks with effect from today, June 30th, 2020 through midnight of Monday, 27 July 2020. And moving forward quickly, the federal government okays reopening of schools. The federal government has approved what it calls safe reopening of schools nationwide in the next phase of the gradual easing of lockdown ordered to curtail further spread of COVID-19. However, only graduating students will resume. The chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, disclosed this at a daily briefing of the task force in Abuja. He said the reopening of schools was meant to allow students in graduating classes to resume preparation for examinations. He disclosed that the latest developments were contained in the task force 5th interim report, which was submitted to President Muhammadu Buhari. Mustafa said he was pleased to inform the people that Mr. President has carefully considered the 5th interim reports of a PTF and has accordingly approved that graduating classes are to resume preparation for examinations, with exception of some modifications to be expatiated upon later. Quickly on other stories, Wike orders compulsory testing for Rivers Government House staff. The Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, ordered a compulsory COVID-19 testing for all staff members of the Government House, adding that the move was aimed at saving more lives. The governor gave the order at the Government House in Port Harcourt when the Executive Director, Boa Foundation, presented free ambulances to the state to support the fight against coronavirus. According to a statement by the Commissioner for Information and Communications, Paulinus Nsirim, the governor insisted that more testing be done to reveal more cases that were symptomatic to enable the government to promptly provide the medical attention needed by such individuals. He said the more they test, the more the number will increase, and they are willing to continue to test. Let the people know that it is not the kind of sickness to be ashamed of. He added that he has given a directive that all staff of Government House must go for testing. Nobody knows who is a carrier, and they must save everybody as much as they can. Wike praised the sustained support from Boa Foundation to the Rivers State government, adding that most companies in the states were only interested in making profits. And coming quickly from around Africa, Senegal to lift curfew and allow international flights. Senegal President Macky Sall announced that the country's state of emergency and curfew imposed as a result of the coronavirus will be lifted on today, and international flights will resume from next month. In a televised speech, Sall pointed to the economic fallout of the pandemic, saying that growth in the impoverished country would slow from 6.8% to 1.1% or even less. Senegal could even see a recession, he suggested, saying that all the productive activities must resume in order to get the economy going again. The president was speaking from his residence where, although he has tested negative for the coronavirus, he has spent the past week in quarantine after coming in contact with an infected person. Senegal would reopen its border to international air travel from July 15th, but its land and sea borders will remain closed. Face masks will remain mandatory in public, and markets will be closed for 1 day per week for cleaning. The restrictions were imposed when the first case of COVID-19 was confirmed in the country on March 2nd, but some measures have already been eased in recent weeks. Senegal has officially declared 6,698 cases of coronavirus so far and 108 deaths. But the disease appears to be spreading, and recent media reports have suggested that medical centers are reaching their capacity limits. And still from around Africa, Malawi's new president takes oath. Malawi swore in new President Lazarus Chakwera for a 5-year term after winning the rerun of a hotly disputed election. Chakwera won the historic rerun of the presidential poll on seating former leader Peter Mutharika. Hundreds of people gathered at the Bingu International Convention Center in Lilongwe to witness Chakwera take oath. He pledged to develop the country beyond the expectations of Malawians. President Chakwera in his inaugural address underlined the need for Malawians to wake up from their dream to live the dream. The time has come for them to go beyond dreaming. The presidential election rerun was held after the Constitution Court in February nullified last year's election because of massive irregularities. Meanwhile, many Malawians say there is nothing more they are expecting from the new president other than meeting his campaign promises. Please stay with us as we bring you details for other news, updates coming from China. We'll observe a short break now. We'll come back. We'll get you those details. Stay with us, please.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT +1, that is 11 a.m. GMT +1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth. From a vision we began a mission. Now we here. A long journey with a beautiful now, touching lives, blessing homes, bringing the best of entertainment and reaching the ends of the earth by revealing Jesus and releasing destinies. It's been 7 years of God's perfection. Celebration TV at 7. Happy anniversary.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femima.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT +1, that is 11 a.m. GMT +1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
Alright, welcome back and thanks for joining us once again. Updates from China. Hong Kong security law. Chinese passes controversial legislation. China has passed a controversial security law giving it new powers over Hong Kong, pending deepening fears for the city's freedom. It is said to criminalize secession, subversion and collusion with foreign forces, but will also effectively contain protest and freedom of speech. The move follows increasing unrest and a widening pro-democracy movement. Veteran activists have already said they will march on Wednesday despite the risk of arrest under the new law. China has not yet officially confirmed the law, if the law has been passed, and no draft was made public beforehand, meaning residents are still unclear of the measures they will have to abide by. Hong Kong was handed back to China from British control in 1997, but under a special agreement that guaranteed certain rights for 50 years. So the law has drawn harsh international condemnation and also sparked demonstration in Hong Kong since it was announced by Beijing in May. China says the law is needed to tackle unrest and instability and rejects criticism as interference in its affairs. A new office in Hong Kong would deal with national security cases, but would also have other powers such as overseeing education about national security in Hong Kong schools. In addition, the city will have to establish its own National Security Commission to enforce the laws with a Beijing-appointed advisor. Hong Kong's chief executive will have the power to appoint judges to hear national security cases, a move which has raised fears about judicial independence. Importantly, Beijing will have power over how the law should be interpreted. If the law conflicts with any Hong Kong law, the Beijing law takes priority. Quickly we'll give you updates from Venezuela. Venezuela president orders EU ambassador out of country. Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro gave the head of the European Union mission in Caracas, Isabel Brihante Bedrosa, 72 hours to leave the country after the bloc announced sanctions against Venezuela officials. Venezuela's airspace is currently closed to commercial airplanes due to the coronavirus pandemic. Maduro also accused the EU of getting down on his knees to U.S. President Donald Trump, who has taken a hard line against the leftish leader and copying erratic policies against the Latin American nation. Relations have been tense since 2017, when Venezuela became the first Latin American country to receive sanctions from the EU, including an arms embargo. Among the official sanctions Monday was Maduro's backed opposition legislator Luis Parra, who is contesting the leadership of the opposition-controlled National Assembly with his President Juan Guaido. Guaido used his position as head of parliament to challenge Maduro's authority in January 2019 by declaring himself acting president after the National Assembly deemed the socialist leader a usurper over his controversial re-election in 2018, a poll widely branded fraudulent. Guaido is recognized as his country's interim president by more than 50 nations, including the United States, as much of the EU. Parra, though, declared himself National Assembly president in January, while security forces loyal to Maduro prevented Guaido from entering the building for a re-election vote he was widely expected to win. Initially, allies Parra and Guaido fell out after the former was linked to corruption scandal relating to a food distribution program run by Maduro's government. Moving forward on business news, power grid has collapsed 108 times after privatization, says TCM. The nation's electricity grid has collapsed 108 times after the power sector was privatized, data from the Transmission Company of Nigeria has shown. The TCN, which manages the national grid, is still fully owned and operated by the government, while the TCN says the grid has a willing capacity of 8,100 megawatts. The highest power generation ever attained in the country stands as 5,375 megawatts. The sector was privatized by President Goodluck Jonathan administration, with 11 electricity distribution companies and 6 generation companies handed over to core investors on November 1st, 2013. Between November 1st, 2013 and May 2020, the number of total grid collapse recorded was 83, while the grid partially collapsed 25 times. A total system collapse means total blackout nationwide, while partial system collapse is a failure of a section of the grid, according to the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission. The grid has continued to suffer system collapse over the years amid lack of spinning reserve that is meant to forestall such occurrences. Spinning reserve is the generation capacity that is online but unloaded, and that can respond within 10 minutes to compensate for generation or transmission outages. Although 5 power sanctions are meant to provide spinning reserves, sometimes none may have actual reserve. The Nigerian Economic Summit Group recently advised the federal government to complete the power and energy sector deregulation process by opening up the transmission segment of the power value chain to provide participation and investment. Still on business news, Ajaokuta-Kano pipeline will be completed in 2 years, says NNPC. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation targets to complete the $2.59 billion Ajaokuta-Kano gas pipeline projects in 24 months. They said the construction phase of a 40-inch by 640-kilometer pipeline project, which is being inaugurated virtually today by President Muhammadu Buhari, would boost domestic gas utilization. The corporation's Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, Kenny Obateru, said the project was a section of the Trans-Nigeria gas pipeline with capacity to transport about 2.2 billion cubic feet of gas per day. NNPC said the AKK pipeline would originate from Ajaokuta in Kogi State and transverse Abuja, Niger, Kaduna, and terminate at Kano. He said the project would boost domestic utilization of natural gas for Nigeria's socio-economic development when completed. We'll go on a short break. We'll come back. We'll bring you sport news. Stay with us.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi
and the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1, that is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
Welcome to News Desk.
From a vision, we began a mission. Now we here, a long journey with a beautiful now, touching lives, blessing homes, bringing the best of entertainment, and reaching the ends of the earth by revealing Jesus and releasing destinies. It's been 7 years of God's perfection. Celebration TV at 7. Happy anniversary.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi
and the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details. Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk. Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT plus 1, that is 11 a.m. GMT plus 1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk, the whole truth.
You're welcome to Sports News. Osimhen wins Mark Vivian Foe Award. Lille Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen has been named winner of the Mark Vivian Foe Award presented to the best African player in French Ligue 1. Osimhen is the youngest ever winner of the award at 21 and emerged tops in a poll of about 100 football experts across the media to succeed former Lille man Nicolas Pepe, the Ivorian Coast international who joined Arsenal last summer from Lille. Algeria striker Islam Slimani, who spent last season on loan at Monaco, came second with Reims. Morocco international defender Younes Abdelhamid third. Eagles winger Moses Simon of FC Nantes finishes 11th in the voting. Osimhen's 13 league goals, 18 goals in 38 games in all competitions in his maiden season in France helped Lille finish 4th in Ligue 1, and he also made a significant impact in the UEFA Champions League where he scored twice in 6 games. The 21-year-old is also a leading scorer in the 2021 AFCON qualifiers with 3 goals. He has been linked with a big money move away from Lille. In another sports news, Barcelona sells Arthur to Juventus by Janek. FC Barcelona has reached an agreement to sell Brazil midfielder Arthur Melo to Juventus for a fee of 72 million euros, which is equivalent to $80.98 million. The La Liga title holder said in a statement they have however gone on to sign Bosnian Miralem Janek from the Italian champions for 60 million euro. The 23-year-old Melo, generally known simply as Arthur, will remain at the Camp Nou until the end of the 2019-2020 season before moving to Turin. This has, however, been extended until August because of the novel coronavirus pandemic. Janik, 30, will also move to the Camp Nou at the end of the campaign. He will sign a 4-year contract containing a release clause of 400 million euros, Barca's statement said, adding that the Bosnian transfer fee was worth an additional 5 million in variables. That has brought us to the end of the news on Celebration Television News Desk. And in case you're just joining us, here's the news headlines recap. The federal government lifts ban on interstate travels. Senegal to lift curfew and allow international flights. Hong Kong security law. China passes controversial legislation. And power grid has collapsed 108 times after privatization, says TCN. Osimhen wins Mark Vivian forward. And quickly we have quote of the day, photo of the day that says, just because you're taking longer than others does not mean you are a failure. Of course, there is always a time for everything. When your time comes, you arrive at your destiny. That is when you arrive at your destiny. Just because somebody is already there, it doesn't make you a failure at all. Just keep on keeping on. Definitely, you will achieve your goal. You can as well drop your comment on our social media platform on Facebook, Celebration TV, Instagram, My Celebration TV, Twitter, at My Celebration TV, YouTube, Celebration TV. The continuous transformation of our society is a collective responsibility of all, no matter the office you hold as a nation's president, a thought leader, an opinion molder, a character builder, a professional, or a person pursuing passion. You have a duty to give your all to making the society a better place and the generations to come as well. Please, this is the time for us all to play our part and do it with all diligence. Thanks once again for staying with us on our news desk. I remain Nicholas Akosele Walter. Stay blessed. To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offence.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor Ibikule Amosu